for holidays.
Thank you. Yes, I just got back.
And thank you for your time. It's an honor and a pleasure because I haven't seen many years ago, but I know about you because your mom and because the social networking. So it's a pleasure having you. Let me introduce you with Samuel, our host. He's going to lead this interview. And the idea of doing this show, Gen Z, the Mind Show, is to have a place, a scenario where the people that have been born from 1995 to 2005, that is Generation Z, Millennials is the name, they have a space where to talk about social, emotional skills and how those are very important to be success in this life. Now, where your generation is the target where depression and anxiety is developing, and more with this pandemic and all the things that you have been living since you're born. So my idea is to have this space to talk very, as I told you, very normal, as a chatting, just giving information from to people for the parents and for the people of your age. Okay, so Samuel is going to, the people is coming. Welcome everybody. Today is in English, but we're recording this Zoom video and we are uploading this later in our YouTube channel. Okay, so our guest today is Shannon, and Samuel, I send you the microphone to you. So let's have fun. Thank you.
Well, welcome guys to a new channel, right? A new episode. And here we have Shannon, who's the invited guest at the moment. And she's going to tell us more about her life and how she feels regarding, being a model and all of that. And she's going to tell us what she thinks about many different things. So please hang tight.
I'm doing very, very well. Just got off of a plane, so I'm still like a little bit jet lagged, but I'm happy to like have like a fun conversation with you guys.
That's cool. That's cool. Tell us, where do you come from?
I actually, so I know Erika from like back when I was like a kid. Like I grew up here in Miami, and I've kind of just like been living here, went to school here, went to college here, and now I recently graduated from, well, I say recently graduated from college, but honestly, I graduated like right before the pandemic, which is like almost a year ago, which is crazy to say. And ever since I graduated, I've been wanting to like explore new cities, which is a little bit difficult now, but yeah, I'm a Miami local.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So tell us, what cities have you been exploring lately as of,
Well, I try to like limit my travel, but I lived in New York for like 2 months, like in late September to like early December. I was like staying in New York for modeling, but mostly because I just wanted to leave my hometown a little bit. And like most recently I came back from LA, but that was for like a modeling job, and I've been like, that was only for 3 days.
That's cool. That's cool. That's good to know. So tell us, what's being a model like? What's all that about? Like, how's the process, I guess?
I would say it's very interesting. I feel like there's a lot of like stereotypes about like modeling and all that, and I would say like you have to be hardworking. Like it's not all like glamorous. Like you just need to have like perseverance and just be passionate about what you want. Because there's a lot of people who want to model. So the people who are gonna make it, or you have to be very like dedicated. It's definitely not like an easy job. It's very competitive, but yeah, you have to like love what you do and like go after it and like have that hardworking spirit.
Yeah, I get
Shannon,
it.
I have a question. I have a question there. Sorry that I interrupt, because for me it's very super interesting. And talking about emotional intelligence, all the competition that you have, I believe to have those schedules, and you have to wake up early and you have to take care of yourself, to be persistent, to be disciplined. So could you tell us what kind of skills you need to develop to be on the top, to be success, and to do not lose yourself in this competition and traveling and all the things that you are doing? Can you recognize what skills you have to develop?
Yeah, there's definitely like several skills. You have to, I would say you have to be on top of yourself. Of course, like your physical body, but mostly like mentally. Because there's a lot of competition, there's going to be a lot of people who like you have to compete against, but like mentally you can't be like, oh well, she looks better than me, like her body looks better than me, because that's only going to bring you down. So you have to be like very mentally strong too, and be like, okay, well, like I have other strengths, or like let me work hard, like let me go to the gym every day, let me, I don't know, like just recognize your own strengths and kind of like sharpen your own skills, and just be very like strong mentally, so that you don't feel like discouraged or like you're comparing yourself to other people. So it's like mental and physical.
The self-esteem, no? Because you have to know yourself.
Yeah.
Self your image. It's not only the body, as you said, it's the mind. No?
And a lot of people say that like models are like some of the most like they have like the lowest self-esteem, even though they're like models, because you're constantly comparing yourself to other people. But that's just gonna like put you down. Like you have to like, you have to be mentally strong.
Do you meditate or something like that?
I don't meditate, but I want to get into meditating. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely moments where like I compare myself to other people, or like I feel down, but then I also have days where I'm like on top of the world. Like you just like, every time you feel like a thought creeping in of, oh, like maybe I shouldn't do this, like there's so many other people that are better than me, every time I think that, I have to like snap myself out of it, because like those are just like the doubts talking. Just like negative energy.
Yes,
yeah, and I wanted to ask
circle.
about that. Like, what are some of the things you do when you feel down? Like,
good one.
Well, the first thing I do is I just like try to distract myself like with something like funny, or like a number one thing is music, just listening to like empowering music, usually by like a female artist, like something that'll make me feel like confident, like myself again. Either that, or I'll go to like a really close friend, like I'll FaceTime my friend, and then like my friend will like FaceTime, like my friend will like snap me out of it, like, no, like you got this. Just like encouraging music and encouraging people.
Like a social networking that helps you to be there.
Yeah, that builds you up, brings you up.
Yeah, it's definitely important to have like a strong support system.
Exactly. And it's something that in the Gen Z has, that you are insulated. You are not trust to everybody, like on silence. And so to have friends is not easy. It's the thing that I have been read, and I know, because I'm working with you guys, that for me it's a pleasure, not to understand that part. And now with the pandemic it's more difficult, because now everything is virtual. So the friendship is, as you said, it's maybe a video call or something like that. So it's not easy to express your feelings and to share them with friends.
Yeah, but you know, like what's interesting about how things have changed with the pandemic and everything is like online, like that's actually made, because we had to go into quarantine and the whole thing with the pandemic, that's actually like made me want to be more social and like meet new people. And like I wasn't necessarily like that before. Like I was just like okay with having like a few, like 2 or 3 close friends, but now I'm like, now I want to meet more people and get to know more people. And then, you know, like you can meet people online, and there's like way to like make friends still, but it's definitely like still difficult.
You're right. Yeah, I haven't been think about that. And then you have like all people from different countries, so you can expand your social work, networking, not your friends, your support. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Samuel, do you have more questions? But I have an idea.
Yeah, I wanted to
Let
ask,
me give you
how have your like personal relationships been affected like throughout all this time? Like, how have you been able to, I guess, deal with yourself, right? And then like probably having to deal with somebody else, right? Like say a parent or a sibling or something like that.
Like, how has the pandemic like affected my personal relationships?
Right. Yeah.
Was that the question?
Yeah.
Well, I would say it was like definitely difficult at like the first few months, like not being able to see anyone, and it was like lonely. But I don't know, like I said before, like if anything, it's made me want to be more social and like call my friends more and like just be more attentive, and like I don't know, I crave that like social interaction. And I feel like I've like made more friends like just by like messaging people and like reaching out to people like, hey, like catching up. I don't know, maybe I'm like a special case.
Mhm.
But it's definitely more difficult, like not being able to see your friends, or if you do, it's like you have to go get COVID tested to make sure you're safe. So it's complicated.
Mm-hmm. And what are your plans for the future? Because this, I don't know a lot about modeling, and but it's a short career, no? Or how do you see? And also, you are studying journalism, or so how your vision about yourself in for the future?
It's weird because I've always considered modeling a hobby for me, because I
Mm-hmm.
started in college and I was, like you said, I studied journalism. And so I've just kind of been like battling between the two things. Like, should I do
Mm-hmm.
journalism? Should I do modeling? And I definitely see like pursuing journalism in my future. But at the moment, I have been focusing on modeling. And I did think about that, like modeling is like a short-term thing, but lately I've been hearing that, you know, older, like there's a market for like older people too. And like it's not just like there's not just like a cutoff anymore. Like it's like times are like changing. That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And also,
And
if
then
you hit it really big, you can also like have, I guess, like a certain like group of fans, right, that will want to see more of your life, even if you get older and like say, I don't know, you get wrinkles or something like that, for example. And I don't know, like I think that whenever you do something right, like say journalism, for example, or modeling, right, when you make it big and you had a lot of people that want to follow you, right, and they want to see, they want to keep up, you're gonna always have like some sort of like income from that, right? Because they want to see more of you, right, more content. So that's my opinion, right, on that.
Ideally, I would want to model for like a couple of years. I'm kind of just taking it day by day and seeing it how it goes. I see myself modeling for like 5 years, hopefully, if I'm successful. I'm just kind of seeing how it goes, and like I know that I do want to like get back to like writing and journalism, or maybe I've even been considering doing both. I'm just like, I'm not really like overthinking my life right now. I'm just kind of taking it for what it is.
flowing. And I think something that I have been seeing in your generation is that you are very interested about to give like communities social service, like helping others, to be involved now with the politician stuff. No, you are involved. You know what about, and you are taking care of the air, like ambientalism. No, it's like helping each other. So I think I'm just hearing you and thinking about all the things that you can do as modeling, and then your journalism, and this message that you can give to the community, to the people. Have you think about that? Because if you are like present and you are big, you can use that power
Yeah,
to
no,
help
yeah,
others.
100%. I've thought about that a lot. Like, there's definitely ways that I can combine like both modeling and journalism and like using my I mean, I don't think I have like a huge platform or anything, but there's definitely like I know
No
that
yet.
there's people I know that there's people who would be interested in what I have to say, and I can like use that platform to like spread awareness on things that I think are important and that people need to hear. So I've definitely like thought about that a lot, and it's crossed my mind, and it's something that I want to do like in the near future.
And that's the idea of this thing that we're doing, is giving that message to others, that motivate others to let's do it, because as I told you, the depression, anxiety, it's like giving like that vicious circle, that the people is like there and they don't see and they don't motivate themselves. So for me as an adult and mother of you guys, like of this age, the generation, it's very important to give that message to the community. Have you think in something special, like a niche that you're interested to help?
I did like have an idea that crossed my mind the other day, but it mostly talked about how like a lot of models are like underrepresented, like how there's not like a lot of rights for models, and like sometimes like, or just in the fashion industry, and how like sometimes they don't get paid, or like, you know, you heard about the Me Too movement, and like how there's like a lot of girls can get like sexually harassed, or like they feel like they can't talk about it, just like the fashion industry in general. Like I do feel like passionate about it, and I've been considering like speaking about it, but it's like, yeah, I it's just something that like crossed my mind, but it's definitely something, especially because like it like I'm passionate about it because like it affects me like directly, and like the people, you know, this industry, and I think it's important. Like there's so many important like topics out there, but you know, that's something that I've thought about.
And you're close too, so you know about that. The other day I was watching the news about military. Do you know about the lady that they killed in the military?
Yeah, the lady in the military, she was in a base in Texas, and she got like sexually assaulted and killed after that.
Exactly.
So what do you think about that?
And they are cleaning all the system, and so because
sweeping that under the rug. Yeah, they're getting rid of the information.
So it's something that nobody knows before until that happened, and now it's like many things going out, no? So like now that you're talking about this industry, that no many people knows about that. So it's a good one. So if we can help you with organized ideas, be our guest. Yes. For me, it's very important to have a purpose. You know, the life purpose to transcend.
Yeah, it's so important. But I definitely think that there's a lot of issues out there that like people just don't know about, or like don't talk about, and a lot of people like don't. There's certain people that don't want to talk about things. So.
And then like emotional intelligence, that is something that in the school you don't know about that, and it's not like the cognitive intelligence that you have something heritage you can is from your parents, but emotional intelligence no. So you have to learn, you have to develop those skills. So it's very important because the 80% of success in the life is based in the emotional intelligence skills. So it's something important is the social responsibility, how to be empathic, how to the communication skills. So those things are very important to raise the voice and to ask for rights. No.
I feel like this generation's very like vocal too about, you know, fighting for rights. Like when I was in New York last year, I covered like the climate strike, because there was like a climate strike protest in New York City, and it was just so amazing because the governor had he let the students out on like a day that was supposed to be for school, like he excused them so that, you know, the young people could go out and like march on the streets. And it was just like so amazing to like to be a part of that. This is obviously like pre-COVID, by the way, like yeah, like this was before all that. So like it was like just like crowds of young people just like marching on the streets, like save the planet, and like everyone had signs. Like I feel like this generation is just like so vocal about the things they're passionate about.
Yes, it's something very characteristic from your generation, like having that leadership to move, to do change. And we need of you. My generation need you guys, because it's my future. You are my future, no? So it's very important. Samuel, we have a question from our guests. See that? Do you see it?
No,
Javier
I don't see it.
No, okay. Let me ask that. Do you see it, Shannon? Javier is from Canada. He's in Vancouver. So he's
I see
asking that. Do you read it? Could you read it, please?
Yeah. Okay. So he's saying that it would be wonderful to speak about gender parity and the importance to empower women and educate men about how the patriarchy affects women. So what's your opinion on that?
I definitely feel like there's still like big differences in within gender. Like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think from like my perspective and like with modeling. For example, like I feel way more comfortable with like I see like more male photographers out there than like female photographers, and like I just noticed that I'm like more comfortable with like female photographers too. And I don't know, like I just feel like there definitely needs to be like more like females like everywhere in the workplace, like instead of like just male dominated like jobs. Yeah, like,
I get you. I understand where you're coming from. I mean,
there's a point I'm trying to touch on, but like I'm like trying to think.
Yeah, don't worry about it. From my perspective, what I was gonna say is that like I'm more of a middle lenient guy. Like I try not to like, you know, like use like an argument from like a specific political side or something like that. So I try to like stay in the middle. And I see where you're coming from, and I think it's definitely a good thing, right, to see women like doing things they were not used to do in the past, right? For example, like, you know, male specific dominated careers. That's cool. I'd say there's definitely a big rise in like all of the fields, in my opinion. Like what I've seen, like, you know, the press, you know, couple of months, we see a lot of women doing other things, like, you know, being police officers, for example. That's, you know, not super new, but, you know, it's something, right? And we got other fields such as like finance and all of that. I see a lot of like women that have like a high, I guess, administrative like hierarchy thing going on in a lot of the political environments at the moment. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Like I think we are advancing towards that, right? Like achieving that goal.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And it's difficult because now that I'm hearing you and I'm thinking about myself, that I'm a psychologist, and then I had to move to Canada and all the things that you know, guys, about my life. When we have as a woman a family, it's like una pausa. It's a pause in our life. Is if we want to raise our kids like close, because we can take them to the daycare, no? So, and it's very difficult to have this balance. So it's like, yes, the women are like having some rights and having power in some areas, but also the men, they are learning how to be more involved in the parenting, to be more close to the family. So it's like both sides are learning how to balance, to take care of our families. And I think your generation, almost all of many parents are divorced from your generation. So it's like a effect, and I don't know that the last show that we did, we talk about family. And many of my friends are telling me, oh, these young people, they are thinking about tradition and to getting married and having a family. Yes, you know about the base of the society. So, but now it's the roles are changing. It's not only the woman raising kids, also the men and having this. No? Or what do you think about?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm,
So
I'm
it's
wrong.
almost crazy. It's crazy to like think about it because like for me that's normal. I'm like, of course, like of course both like the man and the woman should be like involved in like raising their child. Like that's just like so natural for me. Or even like the woman being the one that's like out working full time, then the man like or like the other person like stays at home to like take care of the child. Like I think that's like very, very normal. I think it's also very normal for people to get like married like way later in life, like compared to before. Like my mom got married at 21 and I'm 21 right now, so that's just so crazy to think about. Like me getting married right now, I can't even imagine it. Yeah, I think people are like starting to even get married at like 28 or like late 20s, like maybe even 30s, like, you know, normal.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
and
what do you say that relationships now are actually getting to that 50-50 that was, you know, a long time ago proposed, you know, like with everything? Like, what do you say, like work-wise, like, I guess, emotionally wise and like responsibility-wise? What's your opinion on that?
About things not always being 50-50 in the past?
No, but things nowadays becoming 50-50. Like, do you think that's actually happening or do you disagree?
I 100% agree. I mean, agree. Yeah. I think that's amazing. I like I said, like it's like normal for me. I'm like I can't even imagine like a world where like, you know, like the wife is supposed to stay at home and take care of the kids. Like that's just not the world we live in anymore. Like it's completely normal for like, you know, it to be 50-50. And I obviously like it's a good thing.
and it's
Yeah.
cultural, no? I think maybe
Right.
because we're like Latin roots, we're like macho men, you know, los machos. No, but now the things are changing, and we need that to have this balance. We have another question, guys. Could you read it? Samuel, here is okay. Add 2 questions more. Do you see it?
I am
From
not getting
Santiago. What is one problem that will affect the next
Oh, I see it.
generations in the future? Okay, do you read
Yes.
it?
Okay. So they're asking us if you recognize any problem that's gonna affect us in the future, like our generation specifically, and what are your opinions on that problem, right? If you think there's any.
Solutions.
Yeah, the solution, correct.
I just like I think there's like so many there's so many like problems, but I also see like young people being like very about things like climate change, and like we see like Black Lives Matter, like people are like being vocal about it and like, you know, organizing things and talking about it and like doing protests. So yeah, like we have these problems, but like you know, like this young generation, like we're gonna talk about it, like we're gonna have arguments, like we're gonna do that. One thing I don't like is how I feel like there's just like a lot of like anger in the air, and like when one person doesn't agree with another person, there's just like, I don't know, like I feel I see so many arguments online and I feel like people are like so mad all the time, and I don't know, like I just feel like it's a lot of like anger, and like I don't know, people will be like, oh, if you don't agree with me, then like I'm not, you know what, I'm gonna block you, or like I'm not gonna be your
We're
friend
not friends anymore. That's it. We're done.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
it.
like I find that a little bit like childish, but
Yeah, I agree with you. And we're asking you, right? Because you know, for you and me, right? It's our generation, right? It's natural for us, right? We've grown up with this. However, there's a lot of people, right, that you know they watch us and they want to know your perspective, right? Like they want to see like what you think about that. So that's why, you know, we put so much like effort into, you know, like trying to get that information right, like for you to share with us, you know. So that's the thing.
Well, I hope I'm like answering all right.
No,
Yeah, you're doing quite good so far.
That's the idea, to chatting and to have the different points and to have the conversation. Because as you said, the people are getting frustrated and getting anger, and it's like fighting because I have my point and I don't care about your point. So the idea is to share.
Yeah,
and
it's
to
like
put
everyone.
something.
Yeah, it's like everyone just wants to be right and to be the right, and it's like they don't want to hear like the other side person's like perspective.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We got one more question, like at the moment. So I'm gonna ask you. It says, what's the importance of empathy in our generation? Like, what's your opinion on that?
Well, you have to be willing to like see the other person's perspective and like not be like minded. Like you have to understand. How do I put this? I feel like arguments arise when you don't see the other person's perspective, and you have to understand like how they were raised, like how, like why they see things the way they do. And like you have to be just like, empathy is like so important, because then how are you going to understand like why you should donate to a certain cause? Like that person has like a story, and like I don't know if you're like understanding like what I'm trying to say, but like I feel like empathy is like very, very important. Like you just have to like empathize with other people.
Yeah, and I'd like to add, I think in our generation, one of the things that, you know, it's been like the driving force for us to like speak and be vocal about all these things is that we've been not more empathetic per se, however, like more like we practice that empathy more like openly, right? So that leads us to like talk about things more often. That's what I think. That's my opinion.
Yeah. And you're very inclusive.
There's another. Yeah, I just like thought of like another point I have, like even like, okay, like TikTok. I was on TikTok the other day and I saw some like this video about like a person just like talking about like his dog, and he showed videos of his dog, and he was like, guys, like please help me like so I can get my dog like surgery, like he has cancer. And like everyone in the comments was like so supportive and was like commenting and liking, and it's like people do care, like even if it's like a random person from across the world, like people will care and like will donate to that cause and do what they can, even though they don't directly know that person. We have like you were saying, like we have like these platforms and like all this like social media that like allow you to be able to do that. So that was like really nice to see. But yeah.
How to share the emotion and how you connect because emotions, no? Yes, and I think that psychologist is like everything is based in an emotion. Maybe sadness, maybe anger, but is to learn how we express those emotions is very important, and we are doing that based in the empathy. How should I say the things in order that the other can hear me and understand me? So I have to think about the other, how it's thinking, to talk and to share. So it's very, very important for our communication skills. And yes, and you're, as I told you, you're very inclusive. This, I cannot say nothing about color or gender no, you're fighting to be inclusive. It's like, I love that part from your generation. It's no limits.
Yeah,
We have
it's very
here
true.
another questions, guys. And here, they said, do you think there's been a negative shift from traditional and conservative societal roles to a free way of thinking now, where people can be and say whatever they want in a safe environment? Si se me entiende? Could you understand my English? It's a long question.
I can understand it. I just kind of like lost you a little bit because it was a long question.
Okay. Could you read it, Samuel?
Yeah, I got it. Give me 1 second so I can see on the chat.
Do you think, Santiago?
I see it, yeah. Do you think there's been a negative shift from traditional and conservative societal roles to a free way of thinking now, where people can be and say whatever they want in a safe environment? So basically, you think there's like negative effects of like all of our like very open policies that we have nowadays?
Well, it's very easy to share, and there's, like I said, like there's so many like social media platforms. We have like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I think it can be used in a good way and a bad way. I want to say mostly for good. I mean, like I said, like it's just so easy to like spread awareness and like donate, but at the same time I feel like it's also it can be used in a bad way, because like people can say whatever they want, like whatever, like no filter at all, and like that can lead to a lot of like mean comments too. So I mean, which can also lead to like, you know, like bullying and all that. So it I want to say it's mostly good, but it can also lead to like negative things, like depending on how people use it.
Yes, you're right. It's a powerful tool, and we have to take care of that.
That's one of the main things about this program. Like we want to, I guess, like share, like, you know, get guests, right, so they can speak their mind, so other people can see more or less what's going on, right, with this generation, and like how the world is being shaped, basically, because we're gonna be the next big generation, right? Like, I guess like the oldest, right, on a certain extent of history, right? So we want to share like some of the things that are going on with us, so that people are aware of that. For example, as you said, all of these things with social media are true, and I agree. Like they're mostly good, but there can be also very bad things. So that's very important to share for us, right? Because again, a lot of people don't know, and you know, I guess they gain insight, right, on all of that.
And then to talk to the other generation, the alpha, that are the millennials kids, the ones that now are in the preschool, that the projections are very bad for them, because they it's a mess there.
Oh, really?
Yes, because you didn't know about that. There's the alpha, the ones that are in preschool and the first grades of elementary school, and they are not having, and now with the pandemic, it's worst. Imagine a preschool having classes from the Zoom without contact. So it's a lot of
how do you keep a little kid's attention like that?
It's horrible, and the teachers are getting crazy. Imagine all the stimulations, all the sense that they are not having, and the social involvement,
right, the interactions that they are missing.
Crazy. The other day I had an interview from Univision or Telemundo, one of those channels, and they were talking about all the ¿cómo se dice in English? Getting back from like the diapers, they are getting again to the diapers. They are stopping walking. They are not talking. They are having all the regressions. I don't know.
Yeah, regression. Yeah.
In the physical and mental development. So that generation are after you guys, and you're leading them. So it's very important to have this message for them, and for like all the mental health prevention, not correction, like taking care of that. That's why I was asking you about meditation, doing exercise, sleeping. It's another thing. The people is not sleeping.
Yeah.
And the brain is developing during the sleep, the deep sleep. So it's very important. Very, very important. And the use of electronics. So those things are the mental sanity that you need to take care of and teach the other generations.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the message from talking about them? What message you would like to give to your generation and the next one, and what do you think is important that they know?
I have to think about that. I would say just to use these platforms like for good, and not like to spread messages like in a good way. Like you were saying, just to like keep spreading awareness on like the things that matter. And yeah, I think that's all. Like I'm not quite sure.
No, that's good. Take your time. Those are reflection questions that we have no time. Sometimes we don't have time to reflect about that. And what about the people, because we are going to spread this program, like people from your age that are depressed or they are having anxiety, what you can tell to them to be better?
I hate that. I hate that feeling when you get in your head and you start thinking like negative thoughts, because I've definitely like been there before, and I knew that if I kept thinking that way, I was literally gonna like get depressed. And I think like I said, like it's good to have like a good like support system first of all, but also to keep your active, like whether it's like physically or mentally, like just go out and do something. Like I don't, even if it's like to distract yourself, like, or just take a walk, even if that's all you can do, like just go like walk, like get some fresh air, like clear your mind. What helps is having like a consistent schedule, and obviously like doing something like you're passionate about, like having a purpose, like you were saying, like that helps a lot. But I feel like when you don't have anything to do, it's almost like that's when like the negative thoughts consume you, because like that's all you can think about when you're not busy and you don't have a routine. Like that's what you think about. So I think that's important, having a routine, having a purpose, and then having like good friends, like hopefully like good family members that you can rely on to like get you through that, because like everyone feels like that once in a while, like feels down, but like it's good to like reach out to people when you feel that way, or go out and like exercise, or go out and hang out with like friends, or like just keep yourself distracted from that and not allow yourself to keep thinking those thoughts, like
Good one. And do not be used to do that, to live like that, no, because many people is like, yeah, it's normal, I'm depressed, it's okay, everybody's like that.
And it's almost like, I feel like this generation almost like turns it into like a joke too. It's like, oh my God, I'm so depressed. Like, cause it's like, and like no one takes you seriously anymore, because you're just so used to hearing it. It's like, oh my God, I'm depressed, like this and that. But like, it's just so normal to hear that it's like, you almost like don't seriously consider it, like, oh my God, like I'm depressed, or like she's depressed, because everyone just says it thing.
Yes, the other day I have a client and we were talking about that everybody's using that words, like when the a deficit of attention, no, or he's hyper. Those tags are pathologics. They're psychiatric. You have to make a psychiatric evaluation. It's serious. It's not like just using them as a funny, no, or normal. So yes, and I love all the tips that you say, that just move your body,
you just have to do something. Like you can't be in your head, because that's just gonna make it worse.
Exactly.
It's like you have this negative energy, and like by continuing like to think about it and just like staying in your room, like you're feeding that negative energy.
Exactly.
And like that's how I see it. Like I feel like it's only gonna get worse, and you just like go talk to someone, go do something, like literally anything,
or listening music, as you said, no, like just moving, because you just stop that thought. It's just not feeding that thought and changing your mental structure and moving your body and doing exercise, taking care, and like having that. And that's why and I recommend you to do meditation, not the mindfulness. It's like a very power tool, because you train your brain to change, to recognize those thoughts and freeze them and then change them, like moving from them. So it's super important.
Yeah, I'd like to say that, in my opinion, I think our generation is one of the like most depressed generations that we've seen so far. And I'd say that a lot of that happens because of all of the access that we have, towards like technology and like easy fulfillment and like a lot of those things. We don't really have to put in much effort to do anything anymore. We can, I guess, like go to school, and then if we want, do nothing else after. Like we don't really have to, I guess, like see that, you know, further away, like for us to, I guess, be fulfilled, kind of. And I think that though we have a lot of like good things, right, like all that technology, I feel like it also affects us because we don't have to, like, I could call my friend, right? I don't have to actually go, you know, turn on the car, start the car, and drive over there. I can just call them, right? It's so easy. And sometimes I feel like we decide not to do that, and that is why, like, we get affected by a lot of those negative emotions too, because we don't need, like, what can I say? It's, we don't need to actively seek things to be all right, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
Another thing is, I think that like with social media too, a lot of people, like you said, instead of like going and seeing your friend, like you watch, you know how you like watch other people's stories, like you just like watch other people like living there. Like I think it's very easy to like see what on social media what everyone else is doing, and like not only that, but like also like subconsciously like comparing your lives to them, like, oh, like her life is so much more fun than mine, like they're doing this, like she just got a new job and they're doing so amazing, like she just got engaged, like wow. And it's just very easy to like compare yourself to other people, and I don't know, I don't think that's a good thing at all, because it's just so like, and it's really easy for you to like get down, like maybe even like feel depressed because you're comparing yourself to other people because you're on your phone like doing that.
Yes, and then it's like, again, the importance to have a purpose, not like to be busy in something that is your passion or something interested at least. So you are busy. You are like, no, I don't have time for this. I need to do this and that, but in a wisely way, like the balance, not to like. I was, when I was hearing you, Samuel, I was thinking about to be entrepreneur, like to do something new, like to create something from the scratch.
Yeah, do something for yourself, like, I guess, like, work towards something.
And the social impact, like having that you're creating something that you're sharing, you're doing something for
Something
others.
That's your own.
Exactly. I think that's a good point, that is going to move this generation to go, because the projections are we are raising 80% of depression and anxiety after this 2020, and the target is your age. Imagine 80% more. So it's going to be a mental health crisis. So it's very important to be strong, guys. So let me see. They are saying something. Yeah, we have 9 minutes. Hey, the hour. We were thinking about to do shorter this program. I love because it's like chatting and reflecting. No, it's having that. How do you feel, Shannon?
I feel really good. I feel like we touched upon a lot of subjects, and I'm surprised about how naturally like the answers came to me. Like it really did just feel like a conversation. That's why I'm like, what, like it's almost been an hour. It's so crazy.
Love it. I love it. Let me ask you, and then maybe someone has the last questions. But I was thinking about your sister and about siblings, no? Like, because we were talking about friends and like doing something different, but how, like for your sister or your sister friends, we were talking about the alpha and the generation, but what about these young people? What message, what can you tell them to motivate them, and to, because sometimes for me it's difficult when I'm working with you guys, it's like, what should I say to them that everything is going to be okay, but it's not getting okay? So what should we tell them to the other generation?
Well, if we're thinking about like what would I tell like my sisters, because like my sister is like 18 and then the other one 13. I would, like I was saying before, like stop watching TikToks and like go like do something, like go see your friend, or like go
The exercise
like find purpose. Like I don't know, like just because you're young doesn't mean like you can't have like this super crazy like thing that like you're passionate about. Like, I don't know. I'm not speaking to like the entire generation. I'm just like, I'm thinking from like, what would I would my sisters.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, the electronics, the social networking is the other. Do you see that Netflix show? What is the name? I
The
don't know.
Social Network,
Uh-huh.
or no?
But it was the
Is that
network.
what-
Do you know someone that maybe Santiago can tell
Yeah,
me?
it talks about like the creation of Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, and it's
Exactly that
basically
one.
how it began and like I
And
guess the
when they
dilemma it brought.
and when the Instagram comes that year, 300% raised the depression. They were doing the statistics with preteens that they se lastimaban, they hurt
Hurt themselves.
themselves. No suicide, just hurt themselves. And after Instagram appears,
Harm.
the 300% raised
Increase.
the imagine that 300% more. It's a lot. It's like boom in the curves in the statistics. So yes, we have to to be very serious about this social networking, because we can the people who are, we can stay there for hours, and then we don't realize that, and all the things that we're having in our mind, it's very toxic. No.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay,
I'd
guys,
say
the
that
Yeah.
social
I have,
dilemma is
yeah.
the name of.
yeah. I really want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't, you should, yeah, but it's a little long and it's a little heavy, but do it in two parts or something like that. It's the social dilemma. It's a good documentary. Santiago is telling me.
Mm-hmm.
So super. Let me see. We have another here. We need to have conversation about the uncomfortable facts ahead of us, and this show is great for this. Okay. So it's just having, and then it's thank you guys, great comments, best wishes. Thank you for you guys, and we have not many people participating, but then when we are sharing this information, little by little, the idea is to have to impact the people. Okay, so do you have another questions or something else, Samuel or Shannon, to share with us?
I mean, I was gonna say before that I think a lot of that like influx right on like the like people hurting themselves and all that because of Instagram goes back to what we were talking about with Shannon previously about like how you compare yourself to other people. And I think, okay, this is a message for the older generations. I think parents should obviously not be like on top of their kids, right? Like watching what they see on their phones or something like that. I think they should be more like watchful in the sense that, you know, pay attention to what's going on. Like, is my kid not leaving his or her room, right? Like, what's going on with my kids? And I think a lot of the like millennial parents are like people like from before them. They don't pay too much attention to that because they're, you know, busy like working or they have their own
Yeah,
things to attend to,
babysitter.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's a message for the parents.
Yes, yes, thank you, Samuel. Yes, you're right. And now I'm very concerned because the millennials are the ones that are the parents of the alphas, and millennials are with the cell phone. So you can see 1 year old or months, and they are with the mobile in the restaurants.
Yeah.
And it's I'm like electroshocking. I see the no, I can't believe that. No, so yes, going back to the traditional stuff, having all the stimulate all the sense, no, all the smells, the touching, hearing, like this very important. The 3D, not only one dimension, is the volume, is all the things. You cannot learn everything from a cell phone. You need experience, hearing the birds and the sun. No, they're going outside. So it's very important that thing, and to check. For me, it's going to TikTok and trying to share, because the other thing is from my generation, I have a lot of parents that they say no, nothing, no cell phones, nothing. It's like insulate from, it's not real. And now with the pandemic, that the school is there, so it's to have that balance, to
Yeah.
share with them.
The perfect blend, like the balance, as you said, between like the good
Exactly.
things from now and the good things from before, so we can have, I guess, a better today, right?
Yes, yes. So your last message, Shannon, for us, and where we can follow you and know about yourself, so tell us.
Yeah, the plug.
What do you want to know about? Like my next step in life? Is that what I should
Yes,
say?
and the last message for everybody, your next, let's go, and
okay.
where we can follow you.
And my last message is like not to take like social media too seriously, and that it's a good thing to like spread awareness on the things that you're passionate about, and but also not to like look at other people's lives and compare it to yours, and use it for a good thing. And I don't know, I'm kind of figuring out my life right now, but you'll see me continuing to model and trying to like incorporate, you know, writing and journalism into it. And like what you were saying, like I think it's important to like have a purpose, and like now you really got me thinking about you got me thinking about like things that I want to like touch upon and like kind of like use my platform for. So thank you for that.
Please use that to give a message, to impact our society. It's very important, and that's our goal. That's why Samuel told me, Erika, we should do something different, to have this platform where we can have this sharing our ideas. And for me, it's a pleasure having you today, and an honor that you invite me, like Samuel invited me, to have this project and pushing me to do this. So thank you very much, Shannon. Thank you. So if you need somebody like a coach to help you to organize your ideas, and it will be my pleasure. And I don't know, Samuel, if you want to say something else. Santiago is telling us about follow us in our Instagram, that he's inviting us to, when inviting our guests to follow us, and the YouTube too. So Gen Z Man Show, we're in Instagram, no? Something else, Samuel, that you want to say to our audience?
Well, I don't think there's much else to say, I think we covered pretty good points. Well, lastly, again, thank you, Erika, for allowing this to happen, and thank you, Shannon, for coming to the program, even though it was, a little bit sloppy at times, but, we're getting there, right? So
1 hour.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, and happy holidays. Enjoy Christmas, New Year, and this cycle that with a lot of experience from this 2020 that we learned. So we hope we have a different year, and using this experience to be better in our life. Thank you very much, guys. So see you next episode. Okay?
All right, guys.
Bye. See you. Bye, Shannon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.